Hi, I am Ben Garr, and today I just want to show how to restore a Hiossen implant using CEREC. I just want to show how we came up with this workaround. If I take off the restoration here, and there you'll see the virtual TiBase on top of the implant. I'm going to take off the TiBase for a second and click back on. I scanned in with the OmniCam the TiBase itself on the model just to see how it would look. Obviously it doesn't show up really well because of the metal and so forth, but if we turn back on the virtual TiBase, it's like a perfect match. The only difference might be that the virtual TiBase extends just a little wider than the actual TiBase. And these are the Hiossen made TiBases. These are not from any other company. So this is a Hiossen implant with a Hiossen TiBase, scanned in with the Hiossen Scanpost and Scanbody. So everything coming from Hiossen. So I'll show what virtual TiBase we're looking at here, since there is no Hiossen TiBase or implant in the CEREC software currently. So I'll show you that here in just a second. So I want to go through the steps that I use for making a CEREC crown on top of a Hiossen implant. So we're going to select first an implant here, and this is on the new PrimeScan 5.01 software, but it would be similar to the 4.52 and above, and really the same problem exists in all of those, is that Hiossen is not in our catalog. But we're going to choose a multi-layer abutment. Even if later I choose to do a screw-retained crown, I can still have that option to do so. Whereas if you were to select screw-retained crown first, you do not have the option to do a multi-layer abutment. You'd have to go all the way back to this stage. So I always just select multi-layer abutment. We're going to do a biogeneric individual, and we're going to use Emax for the abutment. We'll use Emax for the crown material. There is my milling device, our TiBase. So there is no Hiossen TiBase in here. So we're going to go to Dentsply and Others and select a TiBase. The TiBase that I showed before is the BC 4.1. That's going to put the height of our implant, the virtual implant, at the same height as our actual implant. And we're going to choose a scan body type. Now, if we're working off a model, you might be able to choose a TiBase and scan off the TiBase, but in the mouth, you're always going to be scanning with a Scanpost. It puts that scan body that fits on top of the Scanpost a lot taller, and you can actually see where it's going to be fitting. So we're going to go with Scanpost here. And then we'll select our tooth, which is number 4. And you'll see that it fills all the case details in over here. And then we'll go to next. Again, this is essentially the same process, whether it's on the new 5.01 software or 4.52 or anything in between. Okay, so I had previously scanned this in the OmniCam, and now we're working off of a PrimeScan. So you'll see that here is my upper jaw, here's the lower jaw, we've got our buccal bite, and here is our scan body scan off of the Scanpost. So that puts the scan body way up high, and you can see that there is, that those two fit exactly there. That is critical to make sure that the timing is accurate on our abutment and the crown. If those two are not lined up, it's going to be off by a few degrees, and your crown or your abutment or both are not going to seat correctly. Moving forward, we get our model. It's a lot cleaner image, of course. Again, back with our scanning using the OmniCam. And you'll see how close these match up right here using the Scanpost as opposed to the TiBase. Another thing you'll want to pay attention to also is the fact that the block that is milled out for your CEREC abutment or crown has a hole in it with an index where those notches go, and the sprue is going to be positioned 90 degrees clockwise of the notch. So my sprue is going to be on the lingual in this case. So wherever that notch is, just plan that 90 degrees clockwise is going to be where your sprue sits. So just kind of place the Scanpost in the mouth, knowing maybe you want to avoid a sprue going interproximally and kind of messing with your contacts and so forth. So we'll double click the top of the scan body head and at the baseline we'll arrow forward, create our crown. If you've done any implant crowns before, it's the same. So obviously here we would go ahead and edit our crown, and by positioning and so forth, but the hard part is done already. So if we take and remove the restoration, we can minimize the view of the gingiva there. We'll be able to see our TiBase. We turn that on. We see the height of gum exposed up above the TiBase. Turn our restoration back on. You can see here. So right in this area, we might make that a little concave or so forth, but essentially design and move ahead, mill, and make your crown as you usually do. The hardest part is, like I said, going back to administration, just making sure we're setting up for success for a good fit. So we're going to have the BC 4.1 as our TiBase, scan body is the Scanpost. Hiossen is not in the system currently. I hope that it will soon be. But until then, this has worked out really good. Haven't had any issues with contacts, fit, or otherwise. So happy milling, and see you next time.